everyone! My name is Maki. Gundam the Witch from Mercury is quite thrilling, isn't it? The story is approaching its climax. Today let's talk about the development in episode 22. Let's hunt for homages to past works embedded in the 22nd episode. For those who have not watched this episode yet, I recommend watching it first. It will make the experience even more enjoyable. Now, let's dive into episode 22 of The Witch from Mercury together. This topic has been a hot discussion among fans. The fencing duel has begun. This gives a sense of challenging the first Gundam. There was a duel scene between Guel and Suletta. This development was a very comprehensible piece of fan service. In the very first Gundam in the final battle, the protagonist Amaro and his rival Char engage in a sword fight. Their battle is held in the battlefield with the intention to take each other's lives. It's a cool scene, but the reason for the duel is a bit clumsy. Char was losing in the battle fought with mobile suits, hence he challenged Amaro with the motive that even if you're a newbie, a human with superior abilities, in a fight using one's physical body, you should be no different from an ordinary human. As a soldier, he had trained his body and deemed that he could defeat Amaro, who was just a boy. It may be a bit pathetic, but this is a scene where we can understand Char's personality, making a pragmatic choice for victory. What about in The Witch from Mercury? Both Guel and Suletta are students from the same school. They must have trained their bodies for piloting mobile suits, just as real-world fighter pilots do. This duel was not advantageous to either side. It was a battle on equal terms, fought with all their might, and the victor was Suletta. Guel is a character who has grown significantly. He is not the type to intentionally hold back in serious situations. Suletta, understanding Guel's character, was genuinely pleased. Meanwhile in Gundam Wing, Y misunderstood that Freet had gone easy on him and won, which saddened him. It was a scene where we could appreciate the importance of being able to rejoice sincerely. Actually, the opening battleship confrontation also includes homages to past works. The Parliamentary Union Freet is launching long-range bombardment against Quiet Zero. In episode 21, they engaged in close-quarters combat centered around mobile suits and suffered a major defeat. This strategy reflects their learning from their defeat, but the outcome was clear to Gundam fans. There was an opinion like this: the Parliamentary Union Freet will definitely lose. The fact that they are the army of supporting characters is one reason, but in the first Gundam, situations arose where long-range artillery from battleships was meaningless and close-quarters combat with mobile suits was adopted. That's exactly right. First, after the line, we are going to use the digitally designated system via Puppet Link. The Freet of the Parliamentary Union executed a beam attack. Using Puppet Link to command the Freet's artillery means managing everything from aiming to firing. In episode 21, their defeat was the result of the puppet system used in their mobile suits being hijacked. They attacked from outside the range that Quiet Zero could potentially hijack, arranging part from the defeat. They challenged with a bombardment, precisely controlling the timing and landing points of all ships' attacks using Palmet. But that bombardment was blocked by a huge barrier. It was discovered that there is not only a system threat but also equipment that blocks energy. Next, they chose to attack with missiles. However, the missiles also had a system that used Palmet to determine the landing point. As you all know, the result was that the missiles were hijacked by Quiet Zero. I believe the Parliamentary Union executed the missile attack after strategizing. From the experience of having their mobile suits hijacked and stopped, they must have judged Quiet Zero as an effective weapon against mobile suits. They might have decided that if it's a small-scale weapon like a missile, which approaches quickly, it would hit before Quiet Zero could take control. Be careful, we, the audience, are the only ones who know that Prospera is moving with a very large objective. From our external observation of the story, we understand that weapons using Parmat are all without exception useless. However, it's not unreasonable to think that most of the characters in the story who believe that Prospera rebelled just to start a war simply consider Quiet Zero to be a powerful weapon. It wouldn't be strange if they hadn't considered that Quiet Zero could access any device that uses Parmat in the entire world. The scale is too large. They might misunderstand it as a light to intimidate those around them. The saying where the Freet's bombardment is nullified is indeed an homage to past Gundam works. This too incorporates elements from the very first Gundam. In the original Gundam, there exists a fictitious particle called Minovsky particles. With their use, all communication and information transmission, like the wireless technology used in the real world, becomes invalidated. Precision shooting using radar and such also becomes impossible. This leads to warfare requiring visually aimed measures. Before the use of Minovsky particles, combat mainly consisted of long-range bombardment. But due to the Minovsky particles rendering long-range bombardment a meaningless tactic, cross-quarter combat with mobile suits began. What about in The Witch from Mercury in episode 22? The long-range bombardment by the Freet was nullified. This is the production element common with the first Gundam. It's the result of a system working through a fictitious element called a puppet, rather than Minovsky particles. However, that's not all. In episode 21, close-quarter combat using mobile suits is also neutralized. The situation was more severe than in the original Gundam. In order to break through this situation, Suletta's Gundam Caliburn appears. This is just like when mobile suits were introduced to respond to the changes in the battlefield brought about by Minovsky particles. Gundam Caliburn appears to respond to the changes in the battlefield brought about by puppets and Quiet Zero. What would you do if you were the Freet commander? Let's simulate it actually. The subscribe button displayed on the screen you are watching is the initiation switch for beam bombardment. The like button is the switch to issue missile attack instructions. If you feel danger, press the bell switch. It's a switch that allows you to issue retreat orders to the entire Freet. I wish you the best of luck. Please stay safe.